Hello, Ms. Galena. Welcome to my presentation on Air Jordan and Apple iPhone. I'm just going to walk you through how two iconic American products use marketing not to just to sell a product, but to make an entire culture and everything behind it. So let's move on. The Nike Air Jordan was in 1985, and the Apple iPhone was in 2007 to the present. Okay, so my first product is the Nike Air Jordan. It was released on April 1st, 1985, and it wasn't really just a shoe. It was a cultural earthquake. It like there before the Air Jordan, there wasn't a lot of sneakers. It was just athletic equipment, and it was just seen as just a shoe. But I think after Jordan really made its impact, it became a status symbol and a collectible. Like different people collected it, so it was really great that different people use it as culture. But what was it exactly? It was a high top leather basketball shoe with a bold red and black colorway. And it actually got Michael fined 5 grand for playing it in the NBA, which was because it broke the uniform rules. And he paid, and actually Nike, it was so popular that Nike had to pay the fine every single game because it was making such a boom. But beyond the looks, the shoe had real innovation, and it used air cushioning technology, which was sort of the first thing that the NBA or anybody has really seen in the community of sneakers. And Nike understood that it was a great product, but it had to carry meaning. That's why they signed Jordan specifically for that, because he was a great player at the time and everyone was hooked on him. And so here's the price. The Air Jordan launched at $65 in 1985 for the original retail price, as you see. And it wasn't that crazy, but the average sneaker at the time was like $25. So everybody was like, why is it so expensive? But Nike knew what they were doing. And the shoe actually sold out so fast that resale prices hit $200 within months. So people would buy and resell it for so much more expensive. And now an Air Jordan can cost up to 60 grand for an OG pair. Like for the original good condition, I mean, it's really insane if you think about it, the percentage of profit you get if you were just keep that same pair of shoe for a long period of time, clean. Now this is the place, like where it was sold. This is very important. And in 1985, they started selling Jordans by sporting goods stores like Foot Locker and Athlete's Foot, but mostly Foot Locker because Foot Locker was popular at the time, and also in major cities like New York, LA, and Chicago. But it wasn't on accident; it was on purpose, so that the more people saw it, the better it did. And those are the major cities where basketball was rising, and many people in the shoe industry were located. And later on, obviously, Nike opened up Nike. It's called Nike Town Flagship Stores, and they promoted Air Jordan, and they promoted a lot of Nike shoes. The promotion, the promotion. Honestly, Nike really transformed here. They hired somebody called Spike Lee, and he filmed a bunch of commercials, like basically praising MJ, right? Praising Michael Jordan. And, they made everybody laugh and smile. And this is what really brought people together, because it was really talking about directly to young, urban, black America. And, it was sort of, the center of basketball, right? And honestly, it was marketing genius by Spike Lee, because sort of when the NBA banned the red and black colorway, Nike turned it into a campaign. They advertised the ban. Like, these shoes are so rebellious, right? And the NBA had to ban them, right? So they tried to make it this big thing. And then there was obviously Michael Jordan himself, like every game-winning shot, every dunk, every poster in a teenager's bedroom. Like, that was the basically fair promotion. Like, everybody was promoting him because he was so great and they loved him. Right? So we have the consumer and cultures market. So basically Nike, the fifth P was the target consumer, so they were targeting young males, roughly 12 to 25, because that's when people are collecting the shoes, and many basketball fans are around that age, many Michael Jordan fans, and they, obviously at that age you care about status and style, so they wanted to be a part of something. and the cultural impact was enormous. The Air Jordan literally created sneaker culture as we know. Before 1985, nobody really collected sneakers, like nobody really cared. But after the Air Jordan, shoes became art. It was identity, right? Everybody wanted like sneakerhead. That became a thing because of Michael Jordan. Nike's revenue went from 870 million to over 3 billion in the decade after the Jordan launch, which is pretty insane. Now that is pretty crazy, but here we have our second product, the Apple iPhone, released June 29th, 2007. And if the Air Jordan defined the 1980s, the iPhone definitely defined the 2000s, and honestly, every decade since. So we'll move on. So what made the iPhone so great and different? When Steve Jobs announced it in January 27, 2007, he said it was three things in one. He said an iPod, an iPhone, and an internet communicator. And, honestly, everybody laughed at him, but he wasn't joking. He was for real. iPhone had a touchscreen, no buttons, no stylus, just your finger. And that was revolutionary. Nobody ever saw this coming, and nobody ever thought someone could do something like this. So it was really crazy. The design was pure aluminum and glass, and it felt premium in your hand in a way no other phone did. And in 2008, Apple launched the App Store, which completely changed the game. And now the iPhone wasn't just the iPhone, it was a platform. Everybody started using it. The original iPhone launched at $499 for the 4 gigabyte model, which was roughly twice the price of competing smartphones in 2007, which was, I like the Air Jordan. Nobody was like, why is this so expensive? But, Apple used what's called a premium pricing strategy, which is basically the price reflects what consumers believe it's worth and not what it's just cost to be made. So I think that what Apple did was super important in their step to success because they knew their worth and they knew what they needed to do to make money, and they did it, and it worked. Now it's over $1,000, $1,500 now, 10 years, 20 years later from that original price. So they were right. They were on track, and they knew what they were doing. Now the place, their distribution was extremely intentional. When the iPhone launched in 2007, it was through the AT&T exclusive. It was exclusively through that, and it was sort of a strategy to create over 600 stores worldwide, and they were all designed to feel like town squares, having an open and inviting sort of space. And you walked into an app store and you felt different from anybody else, like any other electronics store. It was truly great what Apple did because they made you feel that you were buying a premium product for a premium price, which is really great. Now the promotion is one of the greatest in the history of business. The Steve Jobs itself was a 2-hour commercial. So he made the 2007 reveal of the iPhone, was watched by millions, shared everywhere, and it generated billions of dollars. And he made it so long for a reason. The advertising was really simple: white background, product shot, one tagline. But they made it so powerful. Every iPhone user, when you use an iPhone in public, you're advertising it. The camera quality makes people want to show off their photos, right? Even now, iMessage bubbles create social pressure, right? AirPods signal your phone choice. Like, Apple is literally the center of everything. Okay, now the consumer and cultural impact. Apple's target consumer was sort of tech-savvy adults, aged 18 to 45, really. But it kind of, over time, anybody uses it now, and it's great for anybody. But over time, it expanded to everyone, right? So iPhone, it's not like I use an iPhone. I'm an iPhone person, right? Like, you sort of people change their perspective, saying, "Oh, I just use it," but I'm an iPhone person. Like, they literally made it. Are you an Android or iPhone? I'm an iPhone, right? So the iPhone changed everything. It put a camera in everyone's pocket, and it created a social media platform for all these people to record on, and it created 2.2 trillion app economy, giving anyone with a laptop the ability to build a business, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. You could make money because of one person. Now, this is the then and now. How has marketing changed? After we analyze both products, what can we say at the end, right? The 4 P's: product, price, place, and promotion. They haven't changed at all. Nike and Apple both used all four, and they were really good at it, and that's why they were so successful, right? And just to sum up, in 1985, promotion meant TV commercials, print ads, and radio. In 2024, it means Instagram influencers, YouTube reviews, TikTok trends, and user-generated content. So it's so much different than 1985 to now. And the distribution in 1985, it meant carefully choosing which physical stores would carry your product. Today, a product can launch globally, simultaneously via the internet. No stores. You can have an online store, and it's completely fine. And the biggest shift is the consumer's role. In the 1980s, consumers were a passive audience who received ads. Today, consumers are the marketing. Every person who posts an unboxing video or shares a review online, it has Apple's work for them for free. They're literally promoting them without even having to pay them. So marketing has absolutely changed, in my opinion. Its core goal remains identical, and it's find the right of the consumer, give them the right product at the right price, at a premium price like Apple did, in the right place like Air Jordan did, and make them feel something. And those are the 5 P's. Thank you.